on, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of Lightning Strikes. Here today we have Patrick Wittenberg. We're going to be talking about a few topics that I have, such as mental health, school, other things like that. I just want to preface this episode of the podcast by saying that if talking about depression or anxiety or possibly suicide in any way triggers you, please click away now. I don't want you to feel bad for watching this. So, Patrick, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
So I'm 21. I'm going to college right now while trying YouTube out on the side. Also while working a contingent job at the hospital. Um, I'm very open, so you guys will be able to see right through me like an open book. So that's a little bit about myself.
All right, thanks, Pat. So we're going to start off with the deep stuff this week. So I'm going to start off with mental health, and personally, I deal with a lot of anxiety. First, I wanted to get your experiences and your thoughts on the disorder, and then I was going to kind of get into a little bit of what I've dealt with. But let's start with you.
With dealing with like mental health, probably like anxiety. I got my first anxiety attack when I was around, I would want to say like 16 years old.
Hmm.
I never thought anxiety was real when I was growing up, and it just hit me one day, and I just got the biggest anxiety attack. And it really, at least one person, I'm pretty sure I've seen a statistic that says at least once in your lifetime you're going to get an anxiety attack. Um, if you don't, then good for you. But anxiety attacks, you got to know when and how to handle them. They
Right.
are out of mind.
Yeah. And so personally with me, I never had anxiety attacks until I was probably 18 or 19. I always had this general anxiety. I remember in high school, I would come to school some days and my stomach would just be in knots and I'd be shaking, my palms were sweaty. Super weird, super hard to deal with at a young age. But I have moved on from that. I'm mostly good, but I'm hoping that this part of the show will give encouragement to people who are still dealing with that and just letting you know there are real people out there who deal with those things as well, and it's okay to feel that way, and you can get help. Um, and so that moves on to the next topic. How can you be positive, man? I mean, there's been times in my life where I couldn't see the light in anything at all. I was so depressed. And I mean, even this past year, 2019, there were some times where I couldn't see anything. I wanted to know if you've ever dealt with something like that and really what kind of helps you stay on a positive note. I know for me, now that I'm married, it's just that I get to wake up every day and make this person that I love so much happy. But I did want to get your thoughts on that.
Um, Mine was that when I first had my first anxiety attack, it was my ex girlfriend. You know, every single day I'd wake up to try and better her life and my life to make her happy. But things happen in life. People break up. Nothing
Hmm.
too bad. And nowadays, it's literally just trying to bring like my motivation is to be better every single day. If you're having anxiety, you just gotta know that it's all in your head. You can get over it. There's all sorts of different ways. For me, I go to the gym. That helps soothe my anxiety. It helps like relieve it.
Hmm.
I know other people, they have a whole bunch of different ways that they'll like get away from anxiety
Hmm.
and try and work and cope with it. So that's how I do mine. I go to the gym now.
Yeah, and I mentioned this in our chat today. I used to carry peppermint oil, and I would put it either on my collar or my wrist. I would put it on my wrist when I worked at a restaurant because kind of doing this to smell the peppermint, which is supposed to have calming effects, it did for me, was a little bit less noticeable than smelling your collar or going to the bathroom to like calm down because a lot of the times at the restaurant I worked at, you didn't have time to go off the floor and go to the bathroom. So I will link a couple of resources for anxiety in the description of this video. If you're struggling with that stuff, once again, I just want to preface that it is okay. I mean, that's totally normal for most people. Don't feel bad and don't feel like it's unescapable. So I'm going to link those resources a little bit. Um, and I just want to get into the next thing. If you know of someone struggling with this stuff, talk to them. I mean, I just feel like this stuff is so stigmatized. And for anyone who's on social media, people talk a big game about, oh, check on your friends. But social media is also one of the biggest places that I see bullying take place that causes a lot of these issues. So just be kind. That's all you need to do is be kind and be positive. And I'm gonna get into a little bit of a deeper topic here. I'm not gonna go too deep, but if you are watching this and you have at any time in the past week, past month, past 3 months, any time, had suicidal thoughts and you think you might want to take your own life, I urge you, talk to someone. My Twitter, talk to me, talk to Pat. My Twitter is always in the links of these videos. You can shoot me a DM and I will reply 100%. I don't want anyone to feel that way. And if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to a stranger and maybe you want to call someone, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. I'll put that in the description as well as on screen in the video. And so that kind of leads me into the next big topic that we're going to talk about is school, because college is kind of where a lot of this stuff started for me. We're both in school. I just graduated with my associates. Um, I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on college? I know you had a bit of a bad experience with the bookstore, but so far, what are your thoughts on college? Do you think people should go? What exactly are your thoughts on that?
I think college and trade school. So college is a separate from trade school. I think there's not enough people getting into trade
Mm,
school. Um, Trades are eventually like we have boomers, and boomers need to be replaced eventually, especially since they're boomers. They're a bigger variety of people compared to us. And college is for some people. It's not for other people. It's either for
mm,
you or it's not, and you really have to test it out. Try a year of college, try it out. Like, I have a bad experience with the bookstore because they kind of, I think it's kind of scammy what they did to me.
mm,
But you got to look past some things and just keep pushing through college, and eventually you'll reach your end goal. You'll get your bachelor's, your associates, your master's, or whatever you plan on getting.
right,
And I think you should at least give it a chance. Give it one semester. If you don't, go to trade school. If not, try something else. There's tons of things out there.
right. And I know personally, I think you should go. Um, if you don't feel like you can take 5 classes a semester, then don't. If you're not in any rush to get your degree, go to community college. Take 2 classes, 1, 2 classes a semester. See how you like it. A lot of people will jump in. I know I personally did. I jumped into college and I took 5 classes first semester, and I was on my own living 100 miles from my parents. And I was like, excuse my language, holy shit, like, what am I supposed to do? So if you don't feel comfortable, don't feel pressure to go to a big college. Go to your community college, take a few classes. But I do think you should go. There's proven economic studies that show that going to college and getting at least an associate's will up your income. And you don't have to go for bachelor's, master's, doctorate, none of that. You just get your associate, see how you like it, because it will help you in the long run. Um, but I did want to talk about going to college and following your dreams. I know for me, this content creation and streaming has always been a passion of mine, but when I was in school, I couldn't do it. I felt overwhelmed and I picked school over this, and I'm doing this now. But I mean, you're into content creation as well. I want to know your struggles or experiences with following your dreams while in school.
Um, Following my dreams, it's been kind of lackluster. I haven't been able to do it as well as I want to. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many obstacles that life throws at you. So it's all about timing. I think that eventually I will start content creation again. I was really good at it. I had 500 subscribers, so it was going good. And then I stopped, and you can't stop. So, eventually I'll get back into it once I get a solid, structured life of like college, work, all that balance. You need balance if you're going to go to college and do something on the side,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I think, just keep following your dreams. Don't ever give up on your dreams because that's the day that you're going to be the most miserable.
I definitely
So,
agree. Course load, how many classes are you taking a semester, and how are your feelings about that?
for my first semester when I hopped into college, I was at 5 classes, and then I took a semester off, and now I'm back in it. Um, I took 2 last semester. I'm going to
Mm,
be full time this semester, depending on what classes are available because I
mm,
still have to get one more class. But even if I'm not, that's okay. Um, you Classes aren't going to be fun. You know that
yeah,
they're going to suck. You just got to get through them, and then once you get in your program, you might actually have some fun. You might actually
right.
figure it out because I know like with an associate's degree, it's 1 year prereqs, and then the next year your program. So you might
Mm.
actually like it. So
So, do you take 5 full term classes? Do you take half semesters, month classes? What all do you do? Because I know I do it differently.
I take 15-week classes. I'm actually going to try my first seven-week class in the summer because I want to get my college out of the way. I want to get it
Mhm.
done. I'm only going to be taking one class in 7 weeks, so it's cut in half, more than half, like 60% in half, because
Yeah.
I'm used to taking 15 weeks. So it's going to be something different,
Yeah.
you know?
And everyone should know that most colleges offer half-term classes. Some colleges offer month classes. So that daunting big elephant in the room of, "Oh my gosh, I'm taking 5 classes for 15 weeks. How am I going to do this?" Doesn't have to be that daunting. Maybe take 2 half-course classes, both sides, and then you did 4 classes, but you're only taking 2 at a time. I at one point took one 15 week, and then I took a class every month of the semester. So I accomplished 5 classes, but I was never overloaded. I was taking no more than 2 classes at a time. So if you're struggling with course load and you're not doing well, affecting your mental health maybe, look into that. Talk to an advisor and see if maybe what we call them mini mesters or half semesters are there for you. Um, Last thing I want to talk about related to school was finances. I know this is a lot of touchy subject for some people, but I wanted to give my personal experience, and I'd let you give yours. When I first started going to college, I lived with my parents. And so when I went to apply for FAFSA, I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get a Pell Grant or anything like that because I lived with my parents. So technically, I was supported by my parents. Well, I have 2 brothers, so I didn't expect my parents to pay for my college. I'm very grateful that they started a fund for me, and I have always loved them for that. But some people don't have that privilege. They live with their parents make good money, but their parents can't pay for their college. So I know that that was very stressful for me. I had to work, and that was part of the reason I didn't do good. I wasn't adjusted to it. But I know now I received a Pell Grant because I'm on my own, and my income level is a little bit different. So I wanted to know what all went on with your FAFSA, if you don't mind talking about it. What are your thoughts on the government saying, "Hey, your parents should be able to pay for this," even though necessarily not all parents can?
That's actually really weird that you say that. I have a friend that lives in Chicago, and he lives with his mother, who
Mhm.
earns a six-figure salary, and his mother is not willing to give him money for college.
Mhm.
And since she's making six figures, FAFSA doesn't pick up rarely
You're
anything.
gonna have to take
It's
out a loan.
yeah, literally. He said he's gonna have to take out loans, and it's gonna be very expensive. He's thinking about doing nursing, and
Oh
that's a
yeah,
very expensive degree
that's
right there.
hefty.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and their classes are not fun. So if you fail them, you're going to be paying for that class. FAFSA's not going to be picking that up,
Mhm.
So with me, FAFSA picked up everything because I am in a poor income right now, and um, they picked up everything. I'm very grateful for it. They don't give me exactly everything that I need because books cost a lot of money, and they don't take that into account. But I
Mhm.
think it's ridiculous when they say, "Oh, your parents should have to pay for that." I think if you want to have smarter people in this country, you need to invest into your country. You need to
Mhm.
invest into the people. So that's
Yeah.
what I think.
Well, that's a hot topic, button topic. I definitely don't think college should be free. I don't really think anything should be free, but it definitely shouldn't be so expensive. It should be affordable. People like to confuse the word free and affordable. Affordable would be like, I personally, I live in district for the community college, so I pay $88 a credit hour. That's fine. That's affordable for most people, even on a loan or a Pell Grant. But the issue we run into is these big colleges are charging $200-300 a credit hour. And so that really there lies the issue is that the credit hours are expensive when they don't necessarily have to be. And I will say I think that we need to make, like Patrick said, education more affordable so that we have more educated people in our country and people can make smarter decisions. Um, but that's just my thoughts on school. I will say, if you feel discouraged from school, don't give up. I mean, maybe take a semester off. Do what you need to do. Don't, I will say this, don't sacrifice your mental health for the sake of school. If you feel that you have to go to school to please someone, don't feel that way. Do not feel that way and take care of yourself. You take care of yourself, and all the good stuff will follow that. So that's going to lead me into our last big topic. We got a few small things to discuss, um, but I wanted to emphasize on following your dreams. Um, I don't know, Pat, have you ever felt discouraged at one time where you wanted to do something, but you were just so in your head that you couldn't?
Actually, yeah, I didn't think I could do YouTube. Right now I'm kind of trying to get back into it, and I've always wanted to be an actor, and YouTube is kind of like acting, like not 100%, but if you get into YouTube and you get big enough, you can become an actor. And I felt discouraged to be an actor, but then once
Mm-hmm.
I found out, people are getting into movie lines and from off of YouTube, they're
Mm-hmm.
making connections with people. I was like, okay, I'm more inspired to do it now. Like, I think I can do this. Like, I can do YouTube. YouTube's simple.
Mm-hmm.
But, I felt discouraged when I seen that, oh, people, since they are age of 6, they ask their parents to, take them to acting classes and get them to be an actor, get them their own agent so that they eventually can become an actor when they get older.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of sucks that I realized I wanted to be an actor at the age of, it was like 2 years ago. So I was like 19 years old. And so, that's what I felt really discouraged. But when I found out about YouTube, I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah. Man, don't ever give up on your dreams. I actually wrote this down on the notes to this video. Start today. Because the biggest issue that I've ran in for probably most of my life is that I want to make a change. I want to do something, and I'll say, oh, I'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow I say, I'll start tomorrow. I always put it off, so I never accomplished anything. This is going to sound so corny, but when I was little, I would have all these stories in my head, and oh, he's just got a big imagination, but I'm almost 22 years old. Those stories have never gone away, they've been in my head forever. So I was 19 years old, and I wanted to get them out. I wanted to get them out of my head and on paper to feel accomplished. So I Googled how to write a screenplay, and I have a screenplay now. It's about 100 pages. It took me about 6 months to write because I was discouraged and I wouldn't get through it. But man, let me tell you, the feeling the night I wrote the end on that paper, on the 100th page, was one of the best feelings I've ever felt. So don't give up. Start today. And if you can't start today, you know, make a point to start tomorrow. I've been doing streaming on and off, YouTube on and off since I was 12 years old. You can probably go find my channel from when I was 12 years old. I literally made a video on how to get music on your PSP. I took a stupid wooden dowel that people used to walk and I wrapped it with tape and how to make a lightsaber and like I made that stuff. And then I I wanted to do more mature things and I didn't. I put it off and I put it off. And I've struggled with that up until recently, really. And 2 weeks ago, I mean, I just told my wife, I was like, babe, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. And she was like, well, I fully support you. Do what you need to do. So I've been making videos, been on the stream grind, and I just can't reiterate this enough. Start today. Make a point because tomorrow it's not too late, but you're just going to keep putting it off. Start today. Follow your dreams, man. I don't care what anyone says. Excuse the language. Fuck it. Follow your dreams. All right, Patrick. Anything to add to that?
I think you're correct. Just keep following your dreams. Don't give up. Stay focused. Even when you feel like in your head's telling you don't do it. Like you're being like either whether you're being lazy or you just don't have the like you don't have the motivation to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just get up and do it.
Yeah,
Me, I don't want to go to the gym sometimes, but I just do it
yeah.
because you have to do it. So
I'm sorry. It sounds so corny. It sounds like we're spitting talking points of people who don't know what they're talking about. We're telling you from experience. 22 years old. I could have started a YouTube channel 8 years ago and been somewhere, but I didn't. I started it now, and there's nothing wrong with that. But do what you need to do. Don't put it off, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't. You do it regardless of what anyone says. You write the stories, you make the videos, you make the clothing. Do it, and someone will find you, and you will be successful. So yeah,
yeah.
that's the heavy topics over with. I asked Matt about this last week. What are some games that are coming out that you're personally excited for?
Let's see. I'm excited for Dead Island 2. I know
Mm,
it's been pushed back since 2014. That's going to be a really cool game. Another game I'm excited about is The Last of Us.
mhm,
If you've played the first one, you know that this next game is going to be huge. The Last of Us
mhm,
2. Um, it's going to be very cinematic. It's going to be on the PS5 eventually,
mhm,
and the PS5 is the next big next gen console. So
mhm.
we're going to see where that takes us. Any other games I can think of? Not off the top of my head. What about you?
Personally, all the games that I was excited for are coming past. Right now, I'm super hyped for PS5. I'm ready to get that here and see what it holds. We got teased, so today's January 7th. We got teased a little bit yesterday. Oh, here's the logo and SSD and 3D sound. That doesn't really mean anything to me personally because that's what we were expecting. I was expecting like some hardcore specs or some pictures of the console or something like that. I am excited for it. That's not to take away from my excitement, but I do feel like we need to get a little bit more. Xbox has already announced the whole console, right? The whole press conference on it, and we're probably gonna have to wait till June at E3 to hear anything. So the last thing that I wanted to wrap up with, you've got a PC, you've got a console. Which one do you prefer?
PC definitely.
Yeah.
At first I was like, console all the way. I'm gonna stick with console, but PC you can do a lot more. I can go watch YouTube and actually sit down and come back on the mic 5 minutes later after muting myself.
Mhm.
You can just do a lot more. You can multitask in so many different ways that you can even like. It's just unimaginable the amount
Mhm.
of things you can do with PC. The games on there, the people you can connect with. Everything's becoming cross-platform right now, so you're connected to basically everything. If you think about it, PC they have Windows 10 on them, so you can also play the Xbox exclusives.
Mhm.
um, they just have really good stuff going on in the PC. I think
Mhm.
you should definitely get one. I recommend it 100%.
Mhm.
Don't break yourself though. You don't have to get some expensive
Yeah,
PC.
don't buy a $1,500 PC if you can't afford it. My first PC was $250. I put a APU in it and 8 gigs of RAM and called it a day, and it worked fine. It absolutely worked fine. Don't break the bank. You know, you don't. No matter what anyone says, you don't need a $1,500 PC to play games. Play them at low resolution. You'll be fine. Just get the experience. I will say I agree with that. The only thing that I don't like doing on PC is FPS games, and that's mostly because I play with a controller my entire life, and I really don't feel like learning to aim with keyboard and mouse because I'm just used to thumbsticks. I know some people will call me lazy, but that's just my personal feelings. So I think that about wraps up the show. I want to say thanks, Pat, for coming on. I've got a few things to talk about personally before we finish up. If you want to stay on, you can end the call if you want. But I did want to say thank you guys for checking out the podcast again every Wednesday at 3:30. Um, this Saturday at 3 o'clock on my Twitch channel that I will actually link below. I am doing a charity stream for the Australian wildfires. Um, I want to open that up a little bit. If you're watching this video at any time throughout the week, if you're not going to be available Saturday, but you do want to donate, donate to any of the funds. If you want to donate through my charity stream, feel free to. I will leave a link in the description. Every PayPal donation I get from Tuesday until Sunday morning, I will be taking and donating to the World Wildlife Fund to benefit the Australian wildfires. That's the last little bit of plug I wanted to do. Once again, Patrick, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, no
Appreciate
problem.
you guys watching. Keep giving me comments, telling me what I can fix. Leave a like, subscribe if you want. But yeah, Patrick, thanks again, and I'll see you guys next week. This has been Lightning Strikes with Stormology and Patrick Wittenberg. Peace.